All right, here's an exercise to really challenge your hand synchronization. So this is trickier than it looks. This is a pretty challenging exercise, especially to remain consistent with. This is something I came up with last night, and honestly I had to sit here for a little bit and try to get it myself, but it sounds really, really cool if you can get the consistency. So it starts with a pretty simple idea. I'm just using 3 different notes. And those notes form a G major arpeggio. Now, I'm picking through them consistently in 16th notes, so 4 notes per beat, but there's only 3 notes in the pattern, which means if you maintain consistent, strict alternate picking, which I highly suggest doing for this, you will be picking those 3 notes differently each time. So what I mean is if I remain consistent with my alternate picking, where every down is followed by an up, and my right hand is doing this non-stop, with those 3 notes, I'm going to start on a down, and then next time it repeats, it's going to start on an up and be opposite of the first time. Now, what also makes this great for hand synchronization with the left hand is that one of those notes is open. So you're actually having to kind of time a pause or a rest with the left hand as the right hand continues picking and continues the motion. So you're fretting 2 notes, but picking 3. And then to have a little bit of a chord change in there, all I'm doing is just changing the G note on the 2nd string to F sharp. And the cool thing from a theory perspective is that 1 note change completely changes the chord. So now instead of it being G, D, and B, which forms a G, it's now F sharp, D, and B, which forms B minor. So it has a complete chord change to it, just changing that 1 note. And then also to wrap up the 16th notes within a bar, meaning that we need 16 16th notes. With those groups of 3s, you know, here's a little bit of math in this lesson for you, but groups of 3s are going to add up to 15 after 5 repetitions. So we have that 1 extra note, which also challenges your hand synchronization because it almost makes for a small hiccup in the pattern that you're maintaining so far. So when it changes chords, you have a double pick on the same string. So that's where I have that. And that is also something that can easily throw a wrench in your consistency as you're trying to pick this. And then of course for some melodic variation and just to keep things interesting, then I take those same 2 arpeggios and just move them up kind of an inversion or just, you know, to the next part of the fretboard. So what I move up to is I have the G major arpeggio here at 12. And then B minor, again, just changing the G now on the 3rd string down to F sharp. Now that there, to me, I'm thinking a little bit of a D chord to bring us back to the G, B minor, G, B minor, D, G. Just a nice sounding progression, and as I always talk about in my lesson videos, if you have a nice sounding chord progression, then you automatically have a nice sounding arpeggio progression. Now also with this second position, there's another challenge because of that double picked string that I was talking about in the first position. Now it's on the same note. So that's another hand synchronization challenge where your fretting hand has to stay on the same note for 2 picks, but your picking hand maintains the consistency and doesn't stop. So this is the kind of stuff that I love to play around with every day, to keep things interesting, to keep things challenging, to challenge my technique, but also in a musical way, as you guys know from all my practice etudes. It makes it so much more enjoyable to practice when it sounds nice. It sounds like something cool that you could actually show someone, but at the end of the day, it really is just a picking exercise to kind of challenge both hands. So I highly suggest putting this into your practice routine this week and seeing how you do with it, because as I said, it's a lot trickier than it looks. It's so easy to kind of stumble and fumble over the hands when you're doing this because the hands are kind of requiring 2 different consistencies. The full downloadable tabs with the backing track are going to be available on my Patreon page at the link below. It makes for a great practice tool because it's essentially a metronome to challenge your consistency, but a lot more enjoyable and musical to play along with. So check that out at the link below. Try this out this week and let me know how you do in the comments below. Have fun with that, guys, and as always, keep up the practice.